Good night. Welcome to Rhythm and Wine, the nighttime edition. It is actually, 3 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, and I'm having some struggles sleeping, so I thought I'd try a little bit of movement. I don't feel like yoga, I don't feel like dancing necessarily, but I do feel like being on my mat. So I'm going to share some whining stuff I do, which I'm really just flowing here. I have no plan. I just hit record. That's a lie. I had to set up a lot to do this. That's a lie. I moved my plant, I moved my table. I didn't just hit record, but I really wanted to share this time that I'm having with myself in the middle of the morning. Why not? So I think I'm going to start on all fours. I also just noticed, don't mind the head tie or anything. I'm showing up just as myself as I feel like, so take it and or leave it. So I'm going to start on, all fours. I'm realizing my plant's kind of in the way. Excuse me. And I think the reason I'm having some challenges sleeping is because my account on Instagram got suspended. I think someone reported me multiple times, and it's been giving me a little bit of anxiety, not gonna lie. So this is kind of my go-to whining move on the mat. And what I'm doing, what I like to do for myself, and they teach this in yoga as well, but even if you're not familiar with yoga, this can be quite helpful, is to keep my knees underneath my hips. So try and keep this line, which is hard to know if I can't see myself. So I will sometimes just move around and see if I can feel what feels good. And if I find that I can do this really easily, then I'll tend to lean back a little bit and really press off the ground. And then I'll find this nice pelvis tilt. And I'm looking for more of a flat back as opposed to really leaning into the arch in my back. I will create more of a flatter back. So I do tilt my pelvis and hold my core gently. It's not, no forcing. And then the wrists underneath the shoulders, which again is kind of something I have to feel out. Like sometimes I'll go wider and I'll just really find the position that works for me, which I recommend you do for you. These are my building blocks, and it is the building blocks of a yoga position. But if you wanted to come on here and just do these, then I would say explore what this stance, this position looks like for you. But these are things that are helpful, okay? Keeping your knees underneath your hips, your wrists underneath your shoulders, and kind of rotating the arm bones out. It makes it more like a full body, and the pelvis tilt makes it a full body exploration. So, anyways, back to story time. So, rotate, deep breaths. So my account was suspended. It has me super anxious. So now I'm kind of all right, 2 years of building that content and really working with myself how I wanted to show up and clearing a lot of anxiety I had before about posting and just recording myself, just seeing myself dancing was so hard. So I made a challenge to post every day some months, and I really did that. And now all of that's at risk of being lost, and it sucks. It sucks. So, but I am committed. I am super committed to sharing this intention of how whining is a dance discipline and a great movement practice for those of us who like it, you know, and all the variations that you can use for strengthening, relaxation, anxiety reduction, fun, all the things. Okay, and now I'm gonna move my hands a little further out so I can get a nice stretch. And I do a lot of spinal flexions. Oh. And what I mean by spinal flexions is like, I don't know what that looks like, if you can tell. It's like this, okay? Like, so the undulations of the spine, I do that a lot when I dance. So I'm gonna find my stance again, my knees underneath my hips, pressing into the tops of my feet. I'm gonna put my hands out a little bit further, just so I can and I realize even now, I'm pushing too much. And that's not the point. So I'll go slower and softer. Deep breaths, deep breaths. I realize I'm like really into this and super silent. I'm sorry. But maybe we can do this together. If you're feeling a little bit like any time of day, you're just needing a stretch, just go on your mat and whine. Go down on all fours and whine. Someone's gonna hear that differently. That could work too. We're doing some mat time. Okay. I'm gonna do a little pop. Again, very nice caress. And I am holding my core gently here. And just rocking back and forth, back and forth. And while I'm doing this, I'm also, so that I can like sink into my shoulders, I try to press away from my mat and rotate those, see, like, shine those, what is it, inner arm bones forward, which may feel difficult at first. And so just do what you can, even if you're on the wrists and your wrists this doesn't feel comfortable. You can also come to the forearms, but same thing, try and find a nice position, a position that feels nice, you know. Work on, like, see if you can tilt your pelvis in a little bit, hold your core just a tad. Even if you're on your forearms, push away. And you're hearing breath from me. Deep, deep breaths. Because I find when I'm in like moments of anxiety or stress, I'm not breathing proper. So you can do it like one way, and then one way means breathe in, and the other way, exhale. That means you can even slow it down, like, right? One other thing I like to do for funsies
is the pop pop, which is clenching. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing right now. The gluteus maximus muscles. I don't even know if you can see it, simply because I'm still working on it. But in any position I'm in, I will clench one side, the side, and lift that muscle. So it'll come up. Oh, forwards, maybe you can see it then. It just, I don't know, I like it. It's a really, I have to think differently. I really have to think about what muscles being lifted, if I want it coming more from the side or upper gluteus maximus or both. So that gets me thinking about something else and concentrating. You can also bring your feet together, spread your legs wider, and come down. Okay, in yoga they call this child's pose. I don't know what we're gonna call this in the whining community, just kidding, this. And here you can pop too. And if I am in this position, I'll come up and go back down. Come up. And go back down. You don't have to, I don't have to do this with a pop-up at all. I can just be doing that. And gently reach forward. Oh. If you're here, you can whine. Right? To open the hips. And if this is like not comfortable, you can bring the legs closer together. Right? You don't have to go down at all. You can just be resting on them. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, find another thing. You know, all the way together. If resting on them is not, you're like, that's not nice either. Let me play. What would work? Maybe you squat. Maybe squatting, or squat closer together. You're like this. And even if you don't want to like isolate the hips here, like so, in any position you're in, you can do like, like move the whole lower waist. And always reverse your circle. I think I used to that. Use the floor, hold the floor if you need to. If you're tipsy-turvy, topsy-turvy, whatever it is, nice. That means good. You're working on balance and you're going to figure out eventually how to stay upright in whatever position. But enjoy whatever range of motion you've got going on. Now I'm just moving. So yeah. I just wanted to share that. Sometimes I have no agenda whatsoever but to get on here and whine in a way that feels nice and connects me to this movement that I love so much, while it's also building strength, relaxing my muscles, removing some tension, and giving me something else to freaking focus on. Something else. Oh, thank you for joining me. Good night.